more discussion?
Yes, I have two. I'll go with the first question is, this is item C, abolishing policy 9100. I believe we've gotten the name incorrect. It's not public relations. When you look at this on the policy page, 9100 is school community relations goals. This is not the right policy. Public relations is actually policy 9120. So that's point number one. Point number two, when I read the policy, I couldn't figure what is truly the business reason, if I can call it, to abolish this policy. When we saw the self-evaluation of the board, I think there were two scores, if you scrutinized it, there were two scores on that list on a scale of 1 to 4, with 4 being the highest. The self-evaluation score was an average of 1.9 on a question that said, our board with broad community input established a district-wide mission and a multi-year plan for education. We scored ourselves 1.9. The second score with an average of 1.9 was in the board and community section of the evaluation. So this just seems sort of at cross purposes of what we think our board goals are, and us abolishing a policy that incentivizes or actually says we need to get community input as a way for the board to function better. So let's get through this. I have another policy question. So 9100, I think we have it's just the title's incorrect.
Oddly enough, so Strauss Esme did post that as public relations. It is on there. But they also said in their alert that this is replaced by 9120. So 9100 for us may be a very old policy that was never updated by Strauss Esme. But 9100 is absolved in 9120, which you do have. We already have approved. Let me see what date that is. If we approved that.
Can I ask that policy committee chair, did you receive any questions about
I was
this
just about to
prior to
ask
the
that.
meeting?
Did you have this conversation, policy committee?
Last night, after the community took place, last night was the first time it was.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
It's right in our attachments, though. It's just wrong on the actual agenda, is what we're saying, or incomplete, I guess.
Okay, so it's just wrong on the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any more discussion?
Yes. I'm just going to read you from 9100, what it says. Number 2, to invite the advice and counsel of the people of the school district at all times, and especially at regular meetings of the board. And number 3, to solicit the sound thinking and studied counsel of the people through advisory committees selected from the community and appointed by this board to consider those problems which vitally affect the future of our children. I don't see that language in 9120. I agree with the intent of 9100, so that's why.
What about 90? I don't have it open, but 9140 with the citizens advisory committees. I interpreted that as the way to come together, like getting the community and getting other people involved. And so when I saw the abolishment of that PR one, I thought the citizen advisory committees would take over for what was lost in that.
So I believe part of it would, but it sort of puts the onus on, again, a committee. 9100 just seems like a broad policy that seeks input from the community. And it just seems to me counterintuitive to why we would abolish that.
So-
I can just repeat.
I was going to say, to ask the question again, did you have this conversation in policy
Or
committee?
No.
some clarification.
But
Okay.
let me read you what Strauss Esme says in they provide sort of an announcement or alert. 9100, a district may have policy guide 9100, public relations. This is how it's referred to. in their policy manual, which includes similar language that's included in a certain section from the New Jersey Code and Policy Guide 9120. I know you've mentioned 9140. This says it could be similar language in 9120, which I believe we have. That mandated language in the code is already in 9120. Therefore, they're abolishing 9100 because the mandatory language we need is in the mandatory policy that we have in 9120. That's it in a nutshell. It doesn't, I just want to say, if it's communicating with the public is something we already have a responsibility to do, hopefully there's not one person at this table who's going to do it only because it's in the policy and not do it if it's not in the policy. So, of course.
No, I
we are.
know, but I think the
it's-
thought is just making sure that it's our foundation, like it's part of our foundational language.
If anyone needs it in the policy book, by all means, if that's what people need.
No,
that's the
no, I'm just,
foundation.
well, the other thing is if you 9120 covers, I didn't look at 9120. I just saw I was thinking this other one, the citizens one.
If you,
So-
need to- I'm okay, if you need to see it in the policy book in order to communicate with the public, I'm fine with having it. This discussion could have been had in policy committee.
And on the minutes, I did link the alert
Mhm.
that has that in there that tells you that it's in 9120.
At the bottom.
So that was 9100. I have a question on 155. I think it's a first reading, 155.